Hey guys, welcome to the Dr. G show. The boss isn't here. She's still taking a break. She can only stand this much being with me all the time, and then she has to take a little vacation. So last week, and the last 2 weeks actually, we've been talking about the hero's journey, or the heroine's journey, but really the hero's journey. And basically it's all the same journey that we all end up going through, but it's a process that we've only gotten to about halfway for the last two talks, because the first two big chunks of it really are just heavy material. So last 2 weeks we had Melanie Samo or Malushka, and then Tara from Terra Soul Yoga. Mm-hmm. And so that was really great. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And then this week we have two guests. And so we have Tina Walker. And obviously this is AMC, because otherwise she would be called a zombie. She's a zombie. Every other network it's a zombie. AMC, they call them walkers. Right?
Oh.
You watch that show?
I do.
Alright, see,
Okay.
she knows what I'm talking
So
about.
I don't even know what
Not
that
the bad
is.
kind of zombie, don't worry.
So the stupid show, they will not just say zombie. It's all these zombies, and they will not say zombies. They always say, oh, the walker.
walkers.
Right? They're all walkers.
So we're all trying to make up new words for like stuff, you know, zombie land, and zombie everything, zombie.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. We're just new words.
So
We're
we
just
have-
new words for stuff.
When I was in Ireland, they had these signs that said, watch out for walkers. Because they didn't want people getting run over, but I just thought it was
Oh, that's awesome.
So, there's real zombies out there?
So we have Tina Zombie Walker, and it looks like, hey Gina, hey Deb,
Hey everybody.
and then we have Suzanne
Hi,
Blockett,
Gina.
who in high school, she got that name because she played basketball, and when they would go up to slam dunk, the coach would yell, Suzanne, block it!
Yeah,
That's about the 8th grade humor I have, so. Alright, so,
Oh, and just by the way, so we're also live on Wise Women ICT, and it's like a whole nother story going on over there. We're like hippies on that one, so we'll change it up a little bit, but
yeah, that's
So,
a
yeah.
whole different look for us.
yeah, we got those big glasses and stuff,
And I don't want to be a stickler, but usually we don't interrupt the host until 15 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
So I'm the host,
So,
and welcome to Dr. G's show.
all right,
Okay,
so
you go ahead.
to recap, for those of you guys, especially you guys offline, we're going to ask some questions too, and want you guys to post your journey too. So we talked about the kind of status quo, and we talked a lot about that, like this, I just can't live like this anymore. We can't keep doing this again. You know, something's got to change, which is that pre-contemplation or contemplation, which is like, but I'm not going to do anything. So then we talked about the call to change, and then we talked about the refusal to change, which is where most people end up. And Tina was talking about, this is a great time for the show because it's New Year's resolutions kind of thing. But again, most of those fail because people do not make the actual sustainable changes.
Sustainable changes. That's key words right there. I mean, we can make all kinds of changes, but
That's
the
right.
sustainable part is the part that's hardest.
Anybody can just change their underwear one day, but can you change it every day for a week? I'm trying to appeal to our younger male audience.
Oh,
No.
look, over here at Wise Women ICT, they're saying, yes, you should change. Yes.
change them every day.
Every day.
Well, I thought that was just a European custom or something.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So then there's the meeting the mentor that we talked about, and so like Melanie Samo or Malushka, she said that, you know, she was her own mentor, which seems a bit braggy, right? So she was just like sick of her own bull crap and was just like, I'm gonna do this, right? Which is what I did when I was sucking my thumb as a kid. I decided one day at 13, I was like, I'm not sucking my thumb anymore.
That's
And I just stopped.
awesome. That's
So I was my
awesome.
own mentor at one time, so
You had to kick your own ass.
I know. Kick my own. Damn it, Patrick! Stop sucking your thumb like a baby. So then, crossing the threshold. So that's where we kind of were at the first show. It's really that crossing. So we meet the mentor, they give us that advice, and then we just refuse to change, and eventually someone crosses that threshold, and at that point, life gets very different. And does it get better first?
Not usually. It
Not
usually
usually.
gets harder before it gets easier.
That's right.
We need to introduce Christina and what she does and what she's getting ready to do.
I will.
Oh.
This is... Are you trying to jump to the end of the movie?
Uh-huh.
We're trying to build up suspense. They're all sitting there going like, quit it, Pat. Who's that person? So then we get to the test.
Newman says, "Where's my T-shirt?"
I know.
What T-shirt are
He
you
gave
wanting,
me a
Newman?
T-shirt. He
Are you
wants
wanting a Wise
T-shirt.
Women
He wants
T-shirt?
he wants a Dr. G and the Boss T-shirt.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. We'll give him Wise Women one. He gave me a T-shirt the last time I saw him.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we talked about the tests, the allies, the frenemies, the enemies, that, basically once you start trying to change, people will just eat your lunch, and you figure out very quickly who your right tribe is and who your enemies are very, very quickly.
You know, it's kind of like crabs in a bucket. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Crabs in a bucket?
You
Yeah,
can
have you
interrupt.
heard
I
this,
would-
this analogy?
I would like to see where this goes.
Okay, so
Crabs in a bucket.
you know, if you just if you're out there trying to get some crabs out of the ocean, we're from Kansas. I don't know the terminology for fishing for crabs, but so you get these crabs, and you put one crab in a bucket, it'll just crawl right out. That's why you put more than one crab in there together. Because if one crab sees one crab trying to crawl out and get out of the bucket, they just reach up and pull it back down.
Is that right?
And they all stay stuck in the bucket. And so that's what our friends do to us sometimes, is they're like, oh no,
You're not
girl,
getting
you're
out.
not getting out of here.
Right.
I'm going
That
to try to
is
pull you back
awesome.
down here with me. And really, you don't want to be around a bunch of crabs. So
Crab in
I
a
like
bucket.
that.
Crab in a bucket.
I
That's
like that.
new.
I've never heard that before.
I like that.
well,
All right.
it's not
Hi,
my own.
Melanie.
I took it from someone. I wish I could give them credit, but I don't know where I heard that from.
I bet they lived on the coast.
I bet they're not from Kansas.
I bet they're not from Kansas.
Newman
We do know
asked
that.
if you know how to sing.
Can I sing?
Do you know how to sing?
Tina sings. She's an amazing singer.
Yes, amazing.
Is that true?
only
A
only in the
beautiful,
car when
amazing
no one's
singer.
around.
I rap
In the
car.
shower, in the car.
Yeah. Well, so, Tina, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a functional medicine certified health coach, and I'm getting ready to launch a new clinic with 3 other doctors in Derby, Kansas. It's called the Institute for Restorative Health, and we work with people who have chronic illnesses, complex illnesses, a lot of people with Lyme disease, and things like that. And we just work with them from an all-natural, scientific approach on how to reclaim, restore, and renew their health.
Nice.
So we're very
Beautiful.
excited. We're going to be launching here in just a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's so exciting. I hope to be working with them too.
Yeah.
This is like a passion of mine. It has been. Speaking of that, they also like make tinctures. Can I talk about that a little bit?
Oh.
So
Sure,
in my
we
tea,
didn't
I
make
was
this
like
one.
yawning.
This is from doTERRA.
Oh, it's
really
doTERRA.
good.
Okay. So doTERRA is a brand name. So tonight I was yawning a lot because I've been like, well, with Wise Women ICT. Hi, everybody over here at Wise Women ICT. We've been just really, we're in a 2-week crunch now, actually 11-day crunch,
Yes.
until our first event, January 19th at OptiLife, plug. But so I'm sitting here yawning, and look, she's got a tincture, and she's like, here, take this, put this in your tea. And it's Citrus Bliss.
Yep.
And so she said a couple drops, and I went bloop, 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 accidentally. And so I'm drinking this, and as I'm drinking, it's like 5 minutes since we started. This is like, it's like the citrus flavors all over my lips,
And
and
it
it's just
smells so good.
it
Mm.
smells deep. You just don't smell it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling energetic within like less than 5 minutes.
Without the
So-
caffeine jitters.
Right.
That's right. And that's because all essential oils
This
are
is
medicine.
matcha green tea.
That's right.
Right.
medicine.
Absolutely.
All from
So you guys
plants.
make your own tinctures there?
Well, we
Going
do
to.
homeopathic mixes. We have herbal remedies, nutraceuticals, essential oils. We have about, I don't know, I don't want to exaggerate, but we literally have thousands of products, and everyone gets a customized protocol that's personalized to exactly what's going on in their body. No
Nice.
two people get the same thing.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I was planning on getting Lyme, so
Don't
then
do
I
it.
just come to
Lyme?
you.
You don't have to have Lyme to come see us.
Damn it!
Oh, speaking
Just
of
come
Lyme,
over and do some
so-
therapies with us and detox and have fun
you know,
without the Lyme.
yeah. Well, you know, I was bitten by a tick one time, and it had the classic circle rings.
Yeah.
So I went and I got my antibiotic within the first 48 hours or whatever. And so I thought, oh, they tested me. It took like 800 pounds of blood out of me to do the test or what. How many does
Yeah,
it take to
lot.
get? How many?
All of it.
Almost all of it, because I was like, the first time in my life, I'm never really, jittery about that, but I'm like getting ready to pass out. They took so much blood on my arm. So I thought, oh, it's good. It came back as negative, so I didn't have Lyme's disease. Well, I took my dog in because it got a bite, and her name is Cookie. She's no longer with us now. She's just an older dog. But she had the classic rings or whatever, and I took her to the veterinarian in my local little town, and he said, they can still exhibit symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
For which I think I was exhibiting symptoms for the longest time, like joint pain and all those arthritic feeling things that are associated with that. So I'm not so sure I don't have some form of it, or if there's levels of it, or...
Well, it's a stealth disease. It's a microbe that is pleomorphic, meaning it can change into stages. If you think about a butterfly, it has a cocoon stage. And
Yes.
so that's what Lyme disease is.
It can come and go.
Yes. It can go into stealth mode. So it's a spirochete, and then it's an L form. And so it can kind of evade detection and even,
So the L
antibiotics.
form and the whatever that was.
Spirochete.
Spirochete?
Yeah.
Spirochete. So those are more like on the cellular level, is that right?
Yeah, like the spirochete can like drill down into tissue and stuff. So
Wow.
Think of like a
Yeah.
parasite.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So
Mhm.
there you have it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
and a lot of people don't understand it, and it's misunderstood, and so
and you can still have a negative, I've been reading
Oh,
about
yeah.
this, you
Yeah.
can still have a
Yeah.
negative blood report,
And have it.
but still have
Yep.
it in your bloodstream.
absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a whole mess. That's why you go somewhere where they know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
that's wonderful. So,
It is very messy, for sure. Very complicated.
Oh, wow. And what's really neat too, hi. So what's really neat too is that if you go to the Institute for Restorative Health, you will see some videos that they've posted on there that is like unbelievable. They've written messages on all the rooms, they're in the building
Oh.
process, and
Yeah.
prayers, and
Mhm.
it just
Yeah.
warms my heart and gives me chills, because it's like,
We're really excited. It's
It's-
going to be a very cool, healing atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we can't wait.
And last time I saw your
Awesome.
video, you going through there, it was all just studs at that point.
Yes.
So,
metal
We have
Metal
walls
stuff,
up.
yeah.
We have paint on the walls. We have a beautiful stone reception desk that my husband created for us.
Oh.
So
Am I
plug to
gonna
my
work-
husband Jim. I love him a lot.
Hey,
that means
good job,
shit's
Dad.
getting real.
So, do you need a receptionist? So, 'cause if it's a beautiful reception desk, I'm in. No, really, I this is a passion of mine. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and do some of their marketing maybe later on in the first quarter or
Yeah.
something. Hopefully, they like it and let me in.
I like how you pressure home the air.
I know, right?
Can I have a job? Can I have a job? Can I have a job? Can I have a job?
Well,
Can I job? Can I job?
well, right now we are fully staffed, but
Oh,
you know,
good.
and we
Good
don't have
for
a
you.
marketing position. So when we get ready to hire an assistant, you will be top of the list for interviews.
Oh, top of the list for interviews.
For interviews.
Okay, we'll see.
Boundaries.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome.
Cheers. We're talking about boundaries today, so
That's
I
right.
think I went to the boundary.
Which,
So-
by the way, so again, both of these guys are from Wise Women.
We're girls.
Guys, women.
Both
Both these women
people.
are from Wise Women, and they're wise.
Oh, thank you.
And so Tina, I think, is going to talk about boundaries. Melanie Samo Malushka, who was talking last time, she's going to kind of be the keynote speaker and talk about her hero's journey. And then we're going to have workshops and workbooks. And then Tina's going to have her part too. And
Hi,
I think you're talking about
Allison.
boundaries and
Yeah.
creating those, which who needs boundaries, right? Oh yeah, we need boundaries.
Boundaries they're not to keep you from having fun. They're to minimize risk of harm and
That's
keep
right.
you safe, and you
How
can
you-
actually flourish with those boundaries.
That's right. You do flourish with them
Yes.
in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you know, the part of our hero's journey, like I know you have your hero's journey too, much like most of us, you know, or at least that have come out the other side. Some people are still on their journey, which is good. But
Well, I don't know that we ever completely accomplish our journey. I think there's always like
yeah,
a revolving door almost, like what we do at the beginning of the year with resolutions. Okay, this was me last year. I'm gonna just do more of something to make me
right.
feel
Yeah.
better about my 2019 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of the concept of our workbook too for Wise Women ICT is that we're going to work on ourselves in this year or in this time frame, and then guess what? We get to do it again because it's life.
Yeah.
Life keeps revolving. Life keeps happening.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
A
So
spiral.
I feel like a lot of times, especially the way I am, like now I didn't have boundaries before, right? And then I was just like, I had these boundaries when I first started this process, and I was just like, I feel pretty good about this, and then I was like, nope, that doesn't work. And I got tighter boundaries, tighter boundaries, tighter boundaries.
Right.
And then it's funny because now at this point, it's just like, okay, so at the beginning of the year, I didn't have any New Year's resolutions because I was just kind of like, I just feel pretty damn good.
Feel okay.
And so then it really is that kind of evolving thing of like, okay, I feel pretty damn rock solid now. What would I like to change? What is the next level of Patrick look like, you know? How do I tighten up or fix these little places where there are things that are issues, but they're not so pressing as they were in the beginning, you know? So it's kind of like in the beginning you can't pay your bills, and so you're getting kicked out, and then like that's really traumatic. But then once you got like a stable place and you're just like, oh, I can pay all my bills. So then you're just like, maybe I'd like to go on vacation. Maybe I would like to have a little bit more on vacation. So we buffer these things. I think the next step is really buffering and creating even more padding between those boundaries to where I am even more insulated. I don't know about you guys, but that's that, I think, continuous stage for me, I know. And we're to the point now where, and you went right to that when, like she is like hero's journey woman, because I was just like, okay, so here's what we're talking about, and you're like, have you made it to the innermost cave? Like, so that's where we are today, is the innermost cave, and so with that, do you want to kind of lead the way with this and kind of talk about?
Sure.
Here.
So.
And I'll give you this if you want, but because I made notes on my stuff.
So approaching the innermost cave, I can tell you that, as you're going back into the cave, it's the place that you fear. Like, you've come out of there, you've been on this big journey, but you're going back into the cave for a reason. You have to confront that innermost fear that still exists there. And so that can be hard. Like, everyone's got their own dark cave that they have to enter and create this place that they can, come out, and it's throughout the whole journey. You're collecting information, you're collecting tools and resources that you can use to free other people that are in the cave too. It's not about rescuing people in the cave, because we can't rescue others, but we can carry our light back in there and illuminate it.
Nice.
That's
So
beautiful.
that's kind of
Good
what
idea.
I think about when we
Good
talk about that
concept.
cave. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yes.
Well,
that
and
sounds beautiful.
in that first stage, before the cave, it's like figuring out who your friends are, and so it's all external. Like, it's just like I can fight the fights, and I can basically create my boundaries between me and another person and figure out where people fit, but that's still not your inner demons,
Right.
And I'll tell you, I have so many patients that, like, the stuff their teacher told them in 6th grade, and they're like 80 years old now, and they're still holding on to that stuff. Like, that inner demon stuff that I think someone said at the last Wise Women thing, don't believe everything that you think.
Hi, Amy.
Yes.
And I thought that's amazing,
That's
because
cool.
we often end up being our greatest roadblocks and our greatest, we should be our best cheerleaders, but a lot of times we're kind of fake cheerleading, where it's just like, you can do it if you just, pray enough, it'll all be good. And if you just eat super healthy, it'll all be good. If you just think positive all the time, it'll be great. And it's not. Like we just become these fake cheerleaders because we haven't went into the innermost cave. And I love that because it's the innermost. It's not the, hey, I look like I got it together person, you know? It's the inside, in those deepest recesses, am I happy with myself? Or do I have pain still? Or do I still feel like maybe I am that piece of shit that someone told me for 20 years that I was? And then, you know, you're like, all right, I have to deal with this stuff.
Right, you have to sort out what is the truth. What are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the lies and the labels, or are you going to see yourself as this being who is created to be in God's image? And, you know, if that's who you are, then the lies have to fall away.
You know how I kind of summed that up, and this is a lot of the. Sorry, I'm going to bring this Wise Women SCT in here a little bit. Bring it. So, the speaking of that, it feels a little bit like, and one of the concepts that I came up with quite a few months ago.
The screen.
Is I don't know if y'all can. I don't know if you can see that, and I'm not going to let you see
I
too
can't
much
see
because
it.
it's my personal life on paper.
It's backwards.
Oh, it is.
No,
However,
so they can read that. You can put up close.
Yeah, I don't want them to read it.
And then they know all your business.
I know, right? So what I was thinking is, it's kind of like on a cellular level. If you think going into your innermost, say for example, there's what analogy can we use? There's like a little pouch inside you, and that's where all of these things reside. It's on a cellular level, and all of these things are coupled together like a cell. And the typical process of a cell is that when it's done, it dies away, and new cells are reborn. Right? That's a given.
Unless you have cellular.
Unless you have an issue.
Then those dead cells hang around.
And then they hang around and they kind of coagulate, and then becomes all kinds of terrible things. There's 900 yards of conversation about that stuff. But that's kind of the concept of what we're doing with Wise Women, is to try to understand those pockets of the innermost, all those grouping of cells, and this is just an analogy that kind of helps us, to how do we assimilate the good cells and use them wisely, and how do we get rid of the ones that are no longer serving us, or that are toxic, or some of them actually don't die away because there's synthetics, there's synthetics around the cell, and they don't actually die away. So on a healthy sense, that's kind of what we're talking about here, is that how do we get those things out of us and away from us? So it's just an analogy.
I think one of the most important things is, like, you know, because we look at Suzanne when she would come to the meditation group and just be like, oh, she's got it all figured out. She'd always say the right things. She was just like, oh, like this, you know.
Oh, I was just I was so scared to go, but I was always the one talking.
And then when you did your little circle, she did these little cell circles, and basically just broke off from that. Which is part of the workbook that we're creating for the Wise Women, because I think that's awesome. Because part of that innermost cave, I think, is figuring out what the hell's going on in there. And we're so, like, exhausted from external life that we don't have time to sit there and think about all
the things that are affecting every part of our being.
Exactly.
And we're not cellular. Our bodies are the makeup of the same thing that's in the universe and in the earth and each other. So every single thing that goes on in our lives are affecting every cellular structure in our body.
Right, and we carry memories at the cellular level. So.
And all of those neuron pathways and patterns, and I just love you.
And our heart field.
And our heart fields.
Like,
and our
your heart, every time it beats, it's broadcasting an electromagnetic signal that you can actually measure up to 3 feet beyond your body. That's what we know. That's how far we know it goes, because we can measure it.
That's right.
It can go even farther. We might not have sensitive enough tools to detect it yet.
Right.
But that's broadcasting information to everyone around you, and that's why you can pick up on vibes and feel what's going on without even knowing. And also, like, the person's brain waves can decode what's going on from the heart field. So this is all like science. I know it might sound like it's crazy stuff, but
it's reality.
We're all interacting with each other in ways that we don't even know all the time.
All the time.
And Gina said, what if it's a shit pocket?
Wait, Gina,
That
what?
little pocket, it went up.
I,
So that's exactly it.
Okay, I don't know.
You have
I
that
didn't
little
see it.
pocket in you, and it's full of
The shit pocket.
bunch of crap. She used the poop emoji,
Oh,
but I'd be hip. I know what that means. I watched the Emoji Movie,
I kind of miss seeing you, Gina. I
Aw.
need to come see you guys.
and Emily said this is greatness. So that's very sweet.
Oh, good. Thank you, Emily.
Emily's a wise woman too, just like Gina. And Newman's a wise man. Yeah. So
Well, there's wise people. I mean, I think what we're
People?
doing with Wise Women ICT is basically just right now we're starting with that. Oh, can I tell them?
absolutely
Can I
not.
tell them
Nope,
the big news of the day?
Nope.
No,
It's big.
it's
Oh.
huge. It's gigantic.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It is super
Who wants
incredible.
to know?
All right. So
Give us a thumbs up or a heart or.
so
who wants
there's
to know?
really cool news for wise women too. And I love it because I love that person so much. Oh, see, there
Oh,
we go.
there they go. Okay. The suspense.
Now don't tell them.
Y'all. Oh.
Oh, you have to tell them.
Okay.
Don't tell them that.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. I think you're probably like, how many people on there are just like thumbing up like 800 times?
So
Okay.
I'm pregnant. I thought it was just food baby, but it turns out it's a real baby. Is that the news?
Nope.
Not quite.
Okay.
No.
Better
No.
than that.
Y'all, I cried, honestly. I don't cry a lot unless I'm really angry or someone hurts my feelings. But
Angry tears.
today, we got news. Michelle Obama is following Wise Women ICT on Instagram.
Yeah.
So where's
Pretty
the
cool.
I know, right?
But
Like hearts and thumbs ups and everything.
I kicked her off because she's not from Wichita. It's ICT.
So if you go to
She's out.
Instagram, I mean, just hook up there with us because, I mean, Michelle Obama's on there with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, we just started
I
Ellen
literally,
Aw.
like, I had chills for like half a day. I couldn't think. I was just, it's something that I have actually manifested.
Yeah.
I've worked on thinking about those bigger pictures and those bigger visions for this group. And so we're not going to just do women. We're going to do young women, mother-daughter, father-son, men. So, global.
Man, we need help.
We need lots of help. Sponsors, because, you know, I'm not paying myself right now, so.
Please use Bass Pro as our sponsor for the men's version.
Yes.
Are you a man?
Thank you, everyone, for liking that. So that's
Yeah, so that's
pretty
super
sweet.
exciting. Super
I'm like,
exciting.
I'm sorry. Okay, so back to cellular stuff.
Innermost cave.
And innermost cave. Yeah.
So, share as much as you want or don't want. It doesn't mean that if you don't share
What
enough, we won't ask
Is
you
the
back.
date again? Okay, yeah, we'll do it.
But
Thank you, Tracy.
do you mind talking about like your innermost? So you went through those stages, right?
Sure.
So kind of what was your innermost struggles like? What did you have to overcome?
Sure. Well, and I want to tell you guys too, like, I don't think that I have overcome it all. I think I'm a work in progress, but I'm 43, and so I've journeyed a lot and done a lot of work on myself. I've been through a lot of junk, and, you know, stuff still comes up. So I think that part of this is an ongoing journey, but hopefully it's a journey that's a spiral up. So even if you're coming back to face some of those same battles that you've had in the past about lies about yourself, like hopefully you're coming at it from a higher point where you can have a broader perspective on things. And so for me personally, in my early 20s, I had a really abusive relationship. I got married, well actually I got pregnant and then I got married and I was divorced all before I was 21.
Holy
So,
crap.
yeah,
That's a hell of a start to
Yeah,
a journey.
so I got some real life history, you know.
Yeah.
And I believed a lot of the lies from the abuse that I experienced with my ex-husband. Just things like I was ugly, and I mean, I don't think I'm a supermodel, but I don't think I'm ugly.
Y'all, that's
But
up
I
on her.
totally,
She's gorgeous.
Totally believed that lie
Inside
for a
and
long
out.
time, that I was ugly,
Oh.
no one would ever want me, like I would be lucky if I ended up on welfare, and just all kinds of crazy lies. So that led me into doing doing some drugs, using alcohol as a way to self-medicate and cope.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, there's just a lot of stuff that goes on in life when you're kind of mixed up in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I got to the point where I was like, I know that God has a plan for my life, and this is not it. This thing that I'm living right now is subpar. He's got so much more for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to give up some things that are holding me back. So I'm going to let go of what I'm holding on to so tightly, which were this group of friends that I thought, well, if I clean up my act and I'm not hanging out doing these things with them anymore, they're not going to accept me, they're not going to like me, and they're the love and the family that I have right now. So I got to be brave and, you know, flushed my stash one night and said, this is it, I'm moving forward. And, you know, throughout that process, there was a lot of discovery going on, self-awareness about what my own triggers were. When people would say something, sometimes they didn't mean to be mean, and I really took it personally. And so over time, I realized that, you know, there were a lot of lies in there, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't have the right education, that I didn't come from the right family, I didn't come from the right side of the tracks, like all of these lies. Like, you'll never amount to anything because, you know, you're a high school dropout, you got pregnant when you were 18 and out of wedlock, and, you know, you think that you've just kind of destroyed your life at this point. And then I realized, you know what, I can do this. Like, there are resources that I have internally, I have strengths. Like, I am going to do this because, you know, it's up to me. Like, I have a son to take care of, and he is a wonderful kid now. He's 24 years old. And
Nice.
he's kind of my motivation that got me unstuck. But, you know, part of the process for me was really looking at, you know, not just what everyone else is saying, but what am I saying about myself? Like,
Yeah.
I have to quit. Not only are the lies that I'm agreeing with the problem, part of it is I'm adding to the lies by saying all of these things that aren't even true. Like, I am intelligent. Like, I can go back to school. I can accomplish things in life. So I had to quit telling myself all of these lies. And at some point, I went on to start my own coaching business. This was about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with a lot of entrepreneurs, and a person that owned a drug and alcohol clinic contacted me for coaching, and then he offered me a position at one of his clinics running an inpatient program. And I thought, no way. I've been running from people with addiction and drug issues, and I've been trying to get away from that life, and I don't want to go back around those people. I've been trying to get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But I went down for the interview, and when I walked into the clinic, it was just like I knew. Like, I know that I have to be of service here and talk to people who might be in the same situation I was and give them hope and let them know that they have beauty on the inside of them, they have strength. Like, whatever your past circumstances are, that is not who you are. That's not your identity.
Right.
What
Yeah.
happened to you is not who you are. So when you really start, you know, peeling away all of those layers and shedding that junk, so that you can be who God called you to be, or operate in your gifts and be of service to others, like, things just change for you. So for me, that was my own personal battle, so to speak, is I had to start believing in myself so that I could, you know, take on some of these larger roles and working with other people. And, you know, now I'm starting this clinic with 3 doctors, and I'm working for the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy as a course facilitator, and I have this entirely different life.
You're like
That's
way up
awesome.
here.
Yeah, and who would have
Wow.
ever thought? Like, if you would have known me when I was 21, you definitely wouldn't think that I would be where I'm at today. So, and there's a billion stories like this all around us.
Yeah.
That are amazing. So we all have that potential.
Well, I love the idea of the transformative story is not unique. You know, it's like when you're doing it, you're just like, nobody knows my suffering. Nobody knows what I had to overcome.
Yes.
And then the minute you're in that kind of tribe, you're just like, holy crap. Like, everybody that has overcome just these unachievable obstacles, they're all like me. Like, we all have the same story.
Absolutely.
And that's what with the hero's journey is, like every mythical story, every hero's story that you see, every movie, they all go through that same process because it's not that unique.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we
Exactly.
all have this ability, and I love that. I always tell patients, like, the greatest thing you could ever do with your new life is become a beacon of hope for others that don't think they can do it.
Right.
And so just like you, it's the same thing of you going into that field of like, you don't have to stop here. You know?
Or fall back into something that seems like a comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was your ultimate challenge, to go back into that.
To go back in there.
And you were a changed woman,
Yeah.
and you didn't fall back to the old ways. You became
Well,
stronger and more.
I have to tell you a funny story. So while I'm working there, I'm standing outside of our med room where people go to take their medications that they're prescribed to take before dinner or lunch. I'm standing there and I'm talking to some clients, and I see a new person that is an old friend of mine, and he's like, "Hey, how long have you been here?" And I'm like, 3 years. And he's like, "They keep you that long?" I'm like, "No, I work here."
Wow.
That's awesome.
So he actually thought I was a client.
Wow.
So that is the transformation that happened. Is someone saw me in treatment, they thought I was a client, but actually I was running the place.
That is
That's
an awesome story.
Well, I got a good question for you. So at the last Wise Women kind of steering committee meeting we had, someone had brought up, that kind of where you overcome. You come from this place, you overcome, and you start becoming this new person. But a lot of us end up becoming the best person in our group of friends, and it keeps us stagnated. Like, we don't have a mentor to go above to the next step.
Right?
Did you have that? Like, did you have to overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I had to overcome that. And I'm really lucky that I work with a group of people that challenge me every day to be smarter, to be more accepting of myself. Like, they'll call me out on something. If I'm trying to discount an accomplishment or play down something, they're like, "No, you own it, have credit for that."
Yeah.
So,
Good point.
I think that as you change, it's like the crab in the bucket analogy. There will be those people that want to pull you back in. But if you crawl out of the bucket, as you start to change, like energetically, as you raise your vibration, you're going to repel some of the old people that you were hanging around with.
Yeah.
If you change enough,
Or
they're not going to want to
ways.
be around you. And so you're going to get pushed out of that tribe, and you're going to have to go find your people. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't want you, if they don't like you, they're not your people. So.
Right. And it's hard finding that new tribe, but that's where you say,
It is.
who do I want to be? Because you always want to be the worst person in the best group. Because that way you have these people that are up here that you're just
Elevate.
like, oh, I just need to make, I'm always pushed to change and become stronger and better. But yeah, that's huge, because your whole circle of friends, and that's the scariest thing in the world. Like, it's scary to be like, I don't have my old comfortable friends that I can be the same person I used to be with. Well, who the hell? And then, like, I'm not worthy,
Exactly.
Like, I even, like, becoming a doctor, I was just like, when I was a kid, like, I grew up in the ghetto, and like, nobody was, you didn't know anybody. Like, that was like a mythical creature, And then it's one day you're just like that person, and you're like, okay, well, we're just like everybody else. It's the same nonsense. But then they're suffering too. Like, everybody suffers at the level that they're at, but finding that new, like, once you become something different, then suddenly your light changes and everybody else is still stuck.
It's so true.
And I like
That's
that,
true.
that you talking about, like, the crab pulling back. Like, that is a real thing. Like, people get fiercely angry if you're bettering yourself.
Yes.
And we talked about moms
it can
earlier.
be, for sure.
And my mom, the same way. It was just like, how dare you better yourself? You think you're better than us because you wear khakis and a polo? Like,
Oh, how many times I've heard that in my life.
holy shit.
Not necessarily in that way, because I don't wear khakis forever.
But she's from Boston, so it's, how dare you wear khakis?
While you driving the car.
Like the
You
car
park
in
the
the
car in your
yard.
khakis.
I think we upset people's status quo when we start to change and do better. And so, like, I've experienced, even personally through this journey of starting a new business, leaving my prior position, and it was a kind of a big shakeup. Like, people started accusing you of doing things wrong, for the wrong motives, and all kinds of things.
You have to be evil.
Yeah,
If you're not a part of our
exactly.
group,
Right.
you have to be
then
evil.
you're bad, and you can't be friends with me anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is something that happens, and you have to decide at that point, like, who am I again? Where is my identity coming from? me personally, my identity comes from Christ. The Bible says who I am, that I am made in his image. I'm a child of his. Like, I am a daughter of the Most High. Like, bring it on, because that's who I am.
Right.
You have to really get real with yourself and be like,
Right.
I'm not going to believe the lies. Whatever you say is about your own
Right.
mitote, your own illusion,
Mhm.
that you're looking through your own lens. So I have to decide I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to love those people. I'm going to grieve the loss of those relationships.
Yeah.
I'm still going to love them, and I'm okay, and they're okay. Like, wherever they're at in the spectrum, they're okay.
The level of pathology.
Yeah, you have to accept the people.
That's my favorite quote
Yeah.
that you said. I've had it now for 2 weeks.
Is there?
Love it, because
Accept people at their level of pathology.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be better than that. That's just who they are.
I mean, everyone has a way of elevating their level of pathology, but some people just don't know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said that to anyway, I've said that before a lot of times.
A lot of her friends, she's like nudging.
We got but I've said that a lot to people, like, they just aren't capable, and maybe they don't have the resources or the tools, or maybe they're genetically, there's something going on, but sometimes we just have to say, okay, that's who they are and
Right.
where they're at, and there may or may not be some change in that. Maybe in 10 years they figure out some kind of change, and just like you did, you just came to a place where you're like, I'm flushing it and I'm moving forward. Sometimes people what did we say in our meeting the other day? It's like sometimes it takes a great trauma
Yeah.
to for some people it takes that, and then other people it might just say, I don't feel very good. I think there's some things that I need to look at, and I'd like to really start seeing different ways of handling things, or reading a different kind of book, or anything that kind of elevates them to a level of change.
Well, we always expect that kind of American, like, oh, I pull myself up by my bootstraps. Well, not everybody has bootstraps. Some people don't have any boots.
And maybe some people aren't strong enough to put them bootstraps.
Right. And it's hard. It's always that question of, like, how did you come from this traumatic, just chaotic world, and you figured your way out? But then once you figure your way out, well, they should figure their way out. Mm-hmm. Well, all the things that happened to you, and the right person at the right time says this one thing. I mean, we all were back down there. I mean, at any point, somebody could have said, Pat needs to get his shit together. Pat needs to pull it together. Pat's just, we just got to accept Pat's level of his pathology, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm happy, but I'm not. And so we all are part of that. And I like that idea of, like, if you can accept people where they're at, then you can have more grace. And we always want karma for everybody else and grace for ourselves. Because I deserve grace, because But no, the reality is, like, you don't want that other person to suffer. Bad people do bad things, and they still are going to be who they are. That's okay. That has nothing to do with you. You don't want them to go have a car crash and die, because it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
Let them be who they are, and people accept them then.
And I think that's one of the biggest things in our society and planet is that people have a tendency to almost lash out at other people. Like, they just don't allow them to be who they are, and worry about their own inner self.
Right.
And I mean, I could say that 100 different ways, but I mean, if we're not taking account or being accountable for our own actions, our own feelings, our energy, the whole 9 yards, I mean, it's nobody else's fault.
Yeah.
But we, in our society and our planet, I mean, as a big consciousness, a group consciousness is, oh, well, they're not treating me right, so they, there's something, we got to do something for, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
There can be more than one right way. I think we get so stuck on my way of thinking, my way of doing, my way of being is the only right way. So if you're not going to be like me, then you're bad.
Right.
And we have to do something about that, because you're bad. Not you. I mean, I wasn't
If
saying
you
that
don't
to
do it
her.
my way,
This is like, that's the concept we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that we should give each other a lot more grace, and try to see each other's perspectives. Like, look at it, try to understand someone else
Right.
and what they're going through and give them grace and not be so judgmental, because when we can embrace someone right where they are, they're more likely to be able to face their own inner critic,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
discover what the lies are and move forward, and change into the person that they were created to be.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if we stand there and shake our finger and judge them and look down our nose at them, like,
Our planet, our world is so full of judgment. It's just, gosh, it makes me really sad. But
I feel like
I'm
you're being
hopeful.
judging about the world.
I'm very hopeful because that's why I am so passionate about what we're doing with our new organization too. It's just
Yeah.
there's just a group, there's a consciousness of change happening right now, and I think we're not the only ones that feel this, right? Everybody.
Well, I think when you realize everybody really is suffering
There is a lot
in their
of
own
suffering.
ways, then it's easier to have compassion too.
Yeah.
Because even the person that's yelling at the cashier, you know that they don't have their self together and they were just like zenned in, and their job is to educate this person on what they did wrong. You know that person is hurting inside,
right.
and they are just destroyed, and their pain and their pain becomes anger, and their anger becomes lashing out to others.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have to accept that, just
Yeah.
like you don't have to let other people lash out at you. You can accept that they're painful, but you don't have to allow them to treat you like that, right?
Exactly. You don't have to give them access to keep
Right.
doing it.
That's right.
But they're hurting too. Hurt people hurt people. I mean, that's just a cycle.
Hurt people, hurt
And you
people,
know,
yeah.
I talked to my 6-year-old about that. He's like, they're so mean to me today. And I was like, wonder what's going on in their life that's making them do that.
Yeah.
And so that, I know he's 6. I probably talk too much to him like that. But he is kind of an old soul.
He's gonna be like
Yeah.
that girl at on the Peanuts where she's got the little psychiatrist thing in the middle.
Yeah.
She'd be like,
Exactly.
"Look, Ronnie, what your problem is you need to do more yoga and meditation, and don't let the teacher's words penetrate your boundaries." Except he's got to charge more than a nickel.
Yeah, can you read that? I need my glasses.
Oh my God! If you put on like 3
Hi,
pairs of
Carol.
oh, that's
yeah,
Carol
it's
Farrell.
too far away to have these reading glasses on. It's too.
So she says
Little to-
compassionate acceptance.
Oh, that's.
So
nice.
there you go, 2 words: heroic restraint, compassionate acceptance.
Right. And the word compassion in the Latin actually means to struggle with someone.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
You just took the show to a whole nother level.
I know.
I have to credit Adam Barlow Thompson for that one.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's really good.
So Emily says, if we could reach the secret history of our enemies, we should find. Well,
Whoops.
we
that
should
one-
find in each man's life sorrow and suffering enough to disarm all hostilities. It's a Longfellow. See, Emily's taking this to another level too.
All right.
I'm making
This
fart
is good
jokes and
stuff.
drug references, and she's all bringing this
This
show
is
to a
good
whole
stuff.
new dynamic here.
Well, we have to elevate because Mrs. Michelle Obama is maybe watching us.
Spana. So, and then Deb says dealing with. We're all too old. We can't read. The camera's way over here in the
She
tight,
either said
like,
lashing out or
what is
laughing
that?
out.
Lashing or laughing?
I think she says leshing. Cashing out.
Cashing. Causing.
Is this about the
No,
casinos?
causing.
We're gonna need like.
And there's no drinking going on here.
Is there any
It's all
children that
tea.
can come read this for us?
Oh.
Okay, so she says dealing with one of those now, lashing out and causing issues, so I have to let them go. Yep, that's
And
exactly it.
trying. Oh, there's more.
There's more. You
Let's
no,
do
don't mess it up. Holly messed up last time.
Oh man.
It disappeared.
Oh.
So we need no.
Here it is.
All right.
Okay, so I have to let them. You do it. You can.
All right. They can't accept that I am not obligated to meet their expectations and keep getting upset about it. I'm just done. Sucks because I love them, but their problems can't keep
Becoming my problem. That's absolutely
my problems,
right.
But you can still love them.
That's
Yeah,
right.
There's
That's right.
nothing that
Still
says
It
feel
is.
those sad emotions
Love them
around
from
it.
afar.
There's nothing that says we can't love anybody.
That's right.
Just limit their access to you so that they're not causing you chaos and grief.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's hard because you want to. I mean, again, it's the same thing. That journey of like protecting yourself, and it feels selfish and it feels wrong to like push people away or not allow them to have access to you to hurt you. But you were not here to rescue them. You were not here to be their emotional punching bag. You are here to be a strong, independent, self-sustaining person that when they are ready, they can come to.
Right.
So, and then speaking of that, you know, when we're talking about the spiral part, we'll just give you a little sneak
Spiraling out of control?
preview.
Spiraling into control.
Into control. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Spiraling into control. So this is part of the beginning of the workbook, and so here, let's go ahead. Whoops, you're not going to see me, but there's different levels of what our workbook is going to be, and it's really based upon a lot of what we're talking about today, and probably next week too. That when we come through all of that, and we're feeling like we're at the top of our game, it's a new me, it's a new year, it's all of this other stuff. Again, it's like a spiral, but we're spiraling upward, because we'll filter down back and we'll start again, because this is just evolution of each passing moment of our lives.
And you know,
there's more stuff.
It's all that balance too, because like today I had a patient that said, I always go through,
Hi, Kim.
and we do food, we do chemicals, we do hormones, why we exhaust, and then how do we just make no hormones with our glands, right? How do we stop exhausting? How do we stop being American? And once people do that, pretty much everything goes away. But every now and then, it's usually guy patients, but we start talking about exhausting hormones and how we think and all this kind of stuff, and they go, what the hell does this have to do with my condition? And it's just like, that has everything to do with it. Like what we think, what we believe, all this, it has everything to do with exhausting our hormones, and exhausting our immune system, and not having enough energy through the day, you know, falling apart. Like it has everything to do. So all this kind of stuff with wise women, it's not like, man, if you just do these 4 things today,
that's right.
You're going to be better, and number 3 will surprise you, right?
We should also have like circles like this, like it's just continuous.
Yeah, and
so you do. You have one.
It really is this kind of like Maslow's hierarchy kind of thing of, you know, you have to do all those parts. You have to put the oil, gas, and antifreeze and taillight fluid in the car, or it won't work, right? You can't just put one or the other in there. You have to put all of them in there in the right amounts.
That's right.
And then you have to turn the key.
Exactly.
And you have to turn the key. That's the
I have
free
a question.
contemplation to
I have a
change.
question for y'all. We're kind of like at the end of our hour.
No, we're not. We're gonna go 2 hours.
2 hours.
Dos más.
I think so. I have a question for y'all. So at the first Wise Women ICT event, January 19th, you can get your tickets online at wisewomenICT.com. I don't even say the WWs anymore.
It's www.
www.
It's like.
And so.
Yeah, you don't have to say the W's anymore.
No, you don't have to say.
No, you just say
anymore.
wisewomenICT.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's past 1992. Welcome to 1993 and above.
Okay, whatever that is. I don't know. So some of the things that we're going to be doing in there is we're going to talk about the same things that we talked about today. Like, what is it that's your status quo?
Yes.
Let's talk. Actually, the workbook is going to be having all of that. We'll have facilitators there that are going to actually encourage us to go through the workbook. It could be like a lot of what we're going to be doing is in the heart zone. We're going to come into the head zone, and we're going to do workbook stuff. And this is basically you kind of channeling your thoughts into all of these questions. What is it about your life that's holding you back, or etc. I won't give it all away because you know. But I'm going to ask the question. Hi Kim. Describe a healthier you. Is there something in your life that's keeping you from feeling healthy? And if you'll put your comments on there, it would be awesome, because this is kind of part of our our workbook.
Yeah.
Describe
put
a
very-
healthier you.
Put very personal stuff in there, stuff you don't want anybody to know. People can't
Yeah,
read
no.
your comments.
Yes, they can.
Oh.
It's just Facebook.
It's just
the
Facebook.
internet.
It's
It's
like the
Facebook.
whole world.
It won't be there for everybody
And
to see.
nobody will see it.
It'll disappear. It'll be gone. Nobody's going to look up this on your job reference in 20 years.
No. But describe a healthier you. What is it? Is there
Ooh.
one thing in your life that you would like to be? And we're not
Ooh.
talking about just like physical fitness.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like all kinds of different healthy
What about
things.
glamour stuff?
It could be that. Like, I just want to get my eyebrows done. Or,
That's not real.
I'm just teasing. And it could be really important to some people. We have to have that compassion that sometimes, anyway.
That's
I think
sidetracked.
I think
don't
sometimes it's not
no,
just
I was going to
about
go a
a-
certain way, and I thought I better not. But that's just. So yeah, put your question, put your comments on there.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's not just about what you want to become, but like who you want to become.
Ooh,
So-
we just went up here again.
Yeah.
Like this.
See, this is like
Yeah.
This is a mini version of the Wise Women ICT. We have 4 parts to it, so
It's gonna be good.
come
So-
in, join that.
Yeah.
Join us.
Absolutely. Well, and probably, one of the things that I love about this, especially, and if you guys that watch my show, you kind of know that I try to lead by transparency, right?
Hi, Eleanor.
And basically, I'm just the same person. We go through the same things. And so one of the things that we were wanting to do through this lecture series too, or this symposium, is really lead by example, lead by vulnerability.
Right.
And I love that. And I talking with you for like just a couple minutes, I was like, oh, she's the one. Like, that's awesome. Like, she's just like right there with everybody. Because so much of our time when we get past these levels, we're just like, I have it all figured out. If you just do what I do, you'll get. No, it's just like, holy crap, I struggle with figuring these things out. I had to work on my boundaries, and I keep messing up, but I'm getting better. And so it's knowing that, being able to talk to other people and saying, look, I'm not here and you're here. We're all here. How do we all learn from each other's journeys?
Absolutely.
And to get people past those kind of internal dramas, external frenemies, how do we get past those things to where we're all becoming these better, healthier, happier, stronger, secure people, And it's not the female journey, it's everybody. There's guys involved in this too, which is pretty awesome.
Oh yes, we're not. We have. I mean, Patrick and I are partners in this. Scott Spredlin is also a founding member, and so it's like I said earlier. It's not going to stop just for women because it's really a collaboration.
So modeling our transparency, we want you to reveal who or what you want to change to overcome part of your journey, like Suzanne was saying. But what is ours? Like, what do we think? As we close out here, what are your guys' 2019? Who do I need to become to be, or what do I need to change to become this different person, or to express myself differently, or be stronger, more secure, healthier?
It could be one little thing to start. Sometimes that one little thing changes that thought pattern.
So I think, so mine, I'll go
I
first.
could go on and on, but we don't have time.
So my big thing in 2018 was really boundaries. I was always a rescuer. Like, I'll just make everything better, and I'll be your emotional punching bag, and you can just beat me up, and somehow that'll make us better together. Like, it doesn't work. So I started, really moving in my boundaries, and I think really for the next year is figuring out kind of who I want to be, who the new me is going to be, but really I think I'm going to work mostly on kind of boundaries and a little bit of figuring out who the new Patrick is for the next couple years. Who do I want to be? And so that's where
and what to do, taking steps to get there.
Right, yeah.
And that's going to be part of what we're working on too. Is like we're gonna have lots of different resources. We're gonna have life coaches, and Jim Maddox. He's with what is his?
He's a professor at Friends.
Yes, and I can't
He
think of
teaches
his.
emotional IQ.
Right. No, it's
IQ
emotional healing, or sorry, Jim, I'm just having a blank. So we're just gonna have therapists. We're gonna have life coaches, Dr. Garrett, to functional medicine people. We're gonna have yoga and meditation. It's all basically low key stuff. So if you've never done meditation or yoga, it's gonna be very mild and lovely. We're gonna have food catered in, breakfast, lunch, and then Scotch and Sirloin's going to provide wine and wine service about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
With some appetizers. So, and he's even going to come and talk about how to enjoy wine better. So
he's going
we just talked to
make
him
us all
today.
more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just enjoying life. It's just having having resources of. There's just lots of panelists and keynote speakers, and we have awesome levels of how we're going to work through things during the day. It's just phenomenal. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe a little work, but yeah. Anytime we start talking about our innermost selves,
Yeah.
But there will be boxes of tissues on the table, and healthy food, of course. No cheeseburgers. So
what is your
me?
What's your 2019 Suzanne?
I haven't even thought about it.
We're out here helping everybody else.
That's okay, so maybe that's it. Letting me take care of myself more, because I've had 2 people cornered me in our Wise Women meeting the other day, Mariah and Melanie. Two people, I won't say their name. Wait, I already did. And they cornered me in my kitchen. They're like, "Are you doing okay with all, you're working so hard, you're doing all this stuff, for pouring yourself out for everyone else. Did you use that brown sugar body scrub that I gave you for Christmas?" And I was like,
Self-care. That's going to be your thing, is
well,
self-care for the next year.
Self-care is, an important, but there's lots of different forms of self-care. And I, while I'm pouring myself out into this Wise Women organization, we still have to remember to take care of ourselves on some levels of that. So yeah, maybe that's what I need to do more of this year.
Which, by the way, we forgot to. Some of you guys know who Suzanne is, but we forgot to introduce you. But Suzanne,
everybody knows me by now,
has the number 2 company, and she works with female entrepreneurs, but also men, right?
Just small businesses that don't fit the big marketing categories, so to speak. But I think I've helped a couple of people, a midwife, Ginger Young, and then one of the. And it seems like to me that some more powerful things, and I've actually done a photo birth of a home birth, which was cool.
Nice.
With her. We're still working on her website. But Missy Whalen is a gal who passed away, I think, 4 years ago, and her dad asked me to redo their website. There's a memorial scholarship for her at Bishop Carroll. FYI, the Bishop Carroll students can apply for it, and they give a full ride scholarship to WSU.
Nice.
And so, yeah, you can see that at Missy Whalen. You can also donate to that cause if you have, connections to that, or if you just want to donate. But yeah, I worked on their website. It's a very simple website. It's online, Missy Whalen Memorial Scholarship.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. So, things that I've been having lots of meaningful things that I get to work on in my life. So, and that's what I've always kind of projected. But I really want to be happy at what I'm doing. I want to be fulfilled and help people through that process. And so women in small businesses, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what is your 2019?
2019 is all about like getting out of the comfort zone. I think that the stage, taking on creating this brand new business, not really a safety net, like lots of unknowns, just getting out there, and in the process, making sure that I'm doing the self-care, and I love my work, so I will work all around the clock. I'm a night owl.
Yes.
So being more disciplined to take care of me, go to bed so that my hormones and cycles and all of those things function well, so that I can be the best person that I can be physically and energetically, and also be there with my family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And still,
just being present with them instead of like, oh, I have to do this and this and this and this.
Right.
hang on, can you wait while I do this 30 minutes of work that turns into 2 hours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
eat that
do that at
sandwich in there?
9:30, okay. You know,
Well,
3:30 in the morning.
It was funny. We were having our wise women meeting Sunday, and I've got this like bell that goes off on my phone. It's like ding ding ding, time to go to bed. Like it gives you like a heads up. And everybody was just talking and talking, and my phone went ding ding ding, and I was like, okay, so this is cue. And everybody's like, okay, and they get up and okay, we'll talk to you later.
That's right.
So to get your full 9 hours of sleep, which I
Because
never
Suzanne
get.
has healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Her phone enforces her healthy boundaries, which is great, right?
I've been told I'm allergic to my phone.
The hell's that mean?
Yeah, you're not supposed to keep it in your bedroom at night.
Oh.
Exactly.
Or any kind of electronic anything in your
You're not
bedroom.
supposed to carry it on you.
Nope.
No.
And guys, I think prostate problems occur because they carry their phones in their front
In
pocket.
their butt. Oh. So now, have I been doing it wrong this whole time?
Are you
I was
saying
just
your
like-
back pocket?
I was like,
or-
anytime I go to prison, boom, I already got a phone.
But
Keep a burner there.
Shh.
Did I go too far?
Filter.
That's-
Boundary.
All right.
Oh, so
What?
I just want to say one more thing. I really appreciate everyone who's helping us and supporting the Wise Women group,
Yes.
because this has really become a very big passion of mine. I'm grateful that I was asked, because I didn't really know it was a passion of mine until I got asked.
I know.
And
You can just see the fire
I
explode
know,
in her. Like, it's
I know,
amazing.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, and you, and I gotta say too, is like you blew this thing up. Like you could see that it was just like, it went from like this kind of tinkering idea, like, yeah, I can help, to just like, this is who I am.
Right.
Like, this is amazing. So,
I love your passion around it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I feel it. Oh, I feel it. So, thank you, Michelle Obama, for
Yeah.
following us on
Yes.
Instagram. I'm just like,
well, and I want to thank
Okay.
Tina again,
That's good. Thank you,
and
Tina.
Suzanne.
thank you. Scott.
And,
I almost called you Scott.
I
Thank-
loved being here, so thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, and thank you guys for joining us once again and wasting your hour. So, I love you
That's
guys.
negative self-talk.
No, it's from Click and Clack, the Clappet Brothers, from Car Talk.
Oh, I loved that show.
You just wasted another hour listening to Click
Listen to
and
us
Clack.
talk about cars.
That's right. So, all right, love you guys. Thank you for being a part of this. Feel free to
Mwah.
post questions, and then if you guys buy tickets or whatever, you should. It's at wisewomenict.com. You can leave off the www.com. All right.
And just to mention too, it's a limited seating. There's only like 60 tickets for each event. There's 4 events, but so there's a special price if you go ahead and get
Get all
the
4.
4 events, because it's really a consecutive thing. We really are talking about getting healthy first. That it's a mind-body change that happens, and so you become a little bit happier, I guess. For me, I mean, this is kind of based on my theory, but your clarity gets to make you feel a little bit happier in your life, like you're going somewhere, you're taking steps, you're making these movements, and then you feel suddenly stronger, like I can do this, and then all of a sudden you feel more secure. Because you've done these steps, and all of a sudden you're at a place where, you know, I'm really secure in my life right now. But I still have things to do. We're not going to stop at that. We'll probably do more events in 2020 that just kind of moves forward every year. But so try, if you can, if you absolutely can, if you have a business that you have, there's 20 tickets, 10 tickets, 5 ticket bundles. There's also, if you get all 4 events, there's a bundle for that too. So
Nice.
we highly recommend doing all 4. We've worked very hard, and we think everyone's going to benefit highly on all kinds of different levels. So
That's right.
thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye everybody at Wise Women ICT over here. Bye
Uh-oh.
everybody. Finish.